I was living at Snug and working at Electrona at the carbide company in 1967 when the bushfires occurred. I was working in the office as a junior clerk, and about mid-morning we started receiving phone calls asking for volunteers to fight a fire that was approaching Margate from Sandfly and Longley. So the manager of the carbide works, Mr. Jim Gillies, allowed anyone that lived at Margate to go home to defend their homes. As time went on, we've got more and more phone calls for volunteers to help fight fires at Margate and Lower Snug. And so eventually the whole factory was closed down so that everyone could go to defend their homes. The remaining staff in the office at that time all lived in Electrona or Snug, and so they all left to defend their homes, and I was left to man the telephones. And one instruction I was given was to take the company ledgers with me if I had to leave. I kept manning the telephone until such time as there were no more calls, assuming that the phone lines were down. But the last call I got was from Mrs. Frank Lewis, who lived on the hill overlooking Snug, and she said that the fire was coming over Hickman's Hill. Well, Hickman's Hill was about 2 kilometres away from the factory, and I looked out the window and the flames were already licking at the factory fence. I decided at this time that perhaps I should leave, and so I got a mini miner that had been left in my care by a lady I worked with, and brought it around to the office. I rushed in and grabbed the company ledgers and threw them on the back seat of the mini miner, and then I decided that I should make an escape. I was wanting to head to the Snug Area School, which I thought would be the safest place to be. I got to the company gates, the factory gates, and there was a wall of flame blowing across the gateway. I assumed that the gate was still open, so I drove through the flames, and as I did, I saw an arm waving just as a gap in the smoke blew past. I quickly pulled up and found a gentleman by the name of Charlie Kostrinsky, a factory worker, and he was laying in the culvert. So I got Charlie into the car and we proceeded as far as we could go, which was the Caltex service station overlooking Snug. There were probably a dozen or so cars there, and someone said there was a tree across the road so that you couldn't get through to Snug. So we just had to sit it out there while the main fire passed. As things quietened down a little bit, someone suggested to me that because I had the smallest car there, I would be able to possibly get under the tree through to Snug, and that was my desire to do so. So I gave it a go, and I did manage to get under the tree and down into the village of Snug. I noticed when I got there that the infant block had been razed to the ground, and the other main school building had been totally gutted. So at that point in time I thought I should just head to my own home. So I proceeded along Main Road and along the Channel Highway, and as I looked down Beach Road I couldn't see one house standing, and my brother had a house in Beach Road. I certainly couldn't see quite as far as where his house was, but I assumed that he would have been gone as well. I made it home to my place, which was still standing. My father was there. He'd been fighting fires at Lower Snug and had got home just in time to extinguish a fire in a vacant block next door. He had one bucket of water left and managed to extinguish it with that one bucket of water, which was very lucky. The next day I went back to the carbide works, to the office, to take the ledgers back that I'd taken with me, and they were so heavy and cumbersome I had to take them back into the office in 2 loads. Previously, the previous day I'd just run out of the place with them quite easily. In the days after the week or so after the fire, I spent most of my time unloading truckloads of baled hay, which was stockpiled at the Snug area school, so that local farmers could pick up feed for their stock. That was heavy work, and I did that for about a week. And after that I visited an uncle of mine who lived at Orielton, and he'd lost about 20 kilometres of fencing and also all of his wheat stock. So I spent a couple of weeks there reploughing and sowing his wheat crop, and whilst he was repairing his fences.